Hi everyone. So today we are going to learn the most important topic in Python, that is functions, which will be widely used when you are going for your algo trading codes. Hi, my name is Archit Mittal and today we are going to see in this basics of Python series that what are functions, what are the different type of functions, and you can make your code as a drag and drop functionality rather than writing it again and again and again. Let's start. So we have two types of major functions, that one is inbuilt function and the second is user generated functions. Inbuilt functions in Python are very helpful as they will be providing you a lot of information without writing the code itself. As Python gives you the widest library of inbuilt functions, that's the major reason why we use this language also. User generated functions on the other hand are the functions which are specifically customized by you as per your requirements. So starting with the inbuilt functions, if I'm writing a list of elements and I am doing size of these elements, sum of these elements, and I'm printing B. You can see that when I click on the play button, it will be giving me the sum total of all these 5 elements. If I add 2 more elements and then I click the play button, you can see now that the function is returning a new set of sum for the values. Similarly, if I want the size of these arrays, I will be copying these things and instead of sum, I will be writing len and I'll comment this out and you can see now the length is 7. So it will count all the lengths and it will be giving me the length of 7s. So there are multiple thousands of inbuilt functions in Python which can be directly useful for you when you are going for your own algo trading codes. Now let's come to the user generated functions. The syntax of user generated functions is as follows, that you have to write def first, then you will be writing the function name and then you will be doing a colon. Inside this function name, you have to leave some indentation. Indentation means some spaces and you will be writing your condition. So let's say this is condition number 1. This is condition number 2. And so on. Now, as long as you are inside this indentation mark, what happens is that everything which is written inside this indentation will be considered a part of the function. In the last, I would highly recommend, especially for beginners, please write return here so that you will be able to get something in return from the function and you should know where the function is ending. Okay. This is the basic syntax of a function. Now let's try to make a function. We will be making an ATM strike function and we will be passing the spot price inside of it. Now, how to get the real-time spot prices, we will be seeing it in when we are developing our APIs. Currently, we will be taking a fixed spot price. In ATM strike, what we'll do is we'll be giving if spot price modulus 100, modulus operator gives us the last values, the remainder of the complete equation is greater than or basically is less than 50 first. What we have to do, we have to write ATM strike is equals to spot price divided by 100 and multiply by 100. Why I did this, I'll show you in an instant. I have to just first typecast it to an integer. Then secondly, what I have to do is I have to go for an elif statement. I have to write this again. I have to combine one more statement using an AND statement. And what will I be giving here is greater than equals to 50 is less than equals to 75. If the last two values are in between these range, what I'll be doing is I'll copy this, I'll paste this, and I will be writing plus 50. Similarly, if I'm writing an else statement, else means if it is greater than 75, then I'll write this thing and plus 100. What I have to finally do, I have to return the ATM strike. Okay, so this has become the function of calculating an ATM strike out of a spot price. You can use this function directly for symbols who have a 50 difference in the strike prices. For Bank Nifty, you will not be having this elif kind of a statement. Okay, so let's first see how this function behaves. So Nifty spot is equals to 23,432. And what I'll be doing is, as I'm returning something, this is similar to as when you are going to a relative's house and they are giving you something in return. You should be present to receive that gift. They cannot throw the gift out of the door or the window and say that we have returned the gift, right? There should be something to catch that gift. In programming also, we call this thing catching the function. So we will be catching the function by using ATM strike price. We can use the same name also. We can use the different name also. The naming conventions in Python language are dependent on global variables versus local variables. Please try to study about them too. Okay, so let's take ATM strike and I will be passing the spot price. Instead of spot price, I will be giving Nifty spot. I can also give Fin Nifty because Fin Nifty also follows similar kind of patterns, right? And now what I'll do is I'll print ATM strike price. Okay, let's try to print this thing. All the things are commented. 23,432. Pause the video and write down what should be the ATM strike for this thing. Let's run it. You can see it is coming 23,400. Okay, if I change 32 to 52, write it down in the comments what should be the strike price now. You can see 23,450. If I just change it to 82, now write it down what should be the spot price for the same. ATM strike price, sorry. 23,500. Okay, so you can see that now it is working. How it is working, let's see with the help of an example. So let's say we are going for 23,432. Now, what is the line? Let's see this thing, right? Let's analyze this thing. All the others are similar to analyze, right? So what happens? Spot price modulus 100 is less than 50. So spot price modulus 100, 432, modulus 100 less than 50. This is equivalent to 32 is less than 50. If you are putting 10 here, it will be giving only 2. If you are putting 1000 here, it will be giving 432. So this is the cheat code to get the last 2 digit of any number. Now let's see the next line. This is the next line. ATM strike is equals to int of spot price in this thing, right? So what I'll do is I'll copy this line again and I'll paste it here. Instead of spot price, what I should be writing? 24,432, because spot price is this spot price, which is coming as the function parameter, okay? So 23,432, right? Now 23,432 divided by 100 is equivalent to, let me write it again, is equivalent to 234.32, right? Now this 0.32 will make the things bad for me, so I have to remove this thing. So I will be using integer here. So when I'm using integer here, this whole thing will become 234. Now 234 multiplied by 100 will be equivalent to 23400. When it is a plus 50, you can add plus 50 to it. When it is a plus 100, you can add plus 100 to it. And that's how your strike prices are determined. Interesting concept. These are just mathematical things, not very high on theory or not very high on programming language, just basic mathematics. Now, why I'm telling you about these functions? These are the types of functions which you should understand, and you can use modern tools like ChatGPT to create these functions. When you want to write an algo trading code using an AI platform, what will happen is the AI platform will not be able to give you complete code at once. That's why if you are able to break down that code in multiple functions and tell ChatGPT to write these functions for you, it will become very easy for you to write all the code and have all the code at one place. You just need to have the connection knowledge, that how you will be connecting all the code, where to call the function, where to pass the parameters. Once this knowledge is done, you will be able to write Python code very fast using the modern day AI tools also. Right now, I'll show you one more code which is GFDL code, and in the next class we'll be seeing that how we will be decoding the values which are coming from this function. Okay, so this is one of the functions which is a GFDL function, right? So this function library you will be getting directly from GFDL company. You will be getting sample codes. So this is one of the sample code. In this we are only passing WS, that is a WebSocket. In the next classes you will be know what is a WebSocket, and we are giving multiple things. Please check. We are giving exchange name, we are giving Nifty 1, we are giving is short identifier when the contract is something like futures and all these things. So basically you can short that contract or not. Your string message, what is the string message? This all things will be passed on you, and then the WebSocket will receive, when the WebSocket will receive this string message, this is a special code which is developed by GFDL. Once they will be getting this, they will be giving you the last quotation of the symbol which you want, right? You can actually pass these two values in the parameters itself by using commas. So when we will be using GFDL APIs, when we will be going full throttle into GFDL static APIs versus the dynamic APIs, we will be seeing these things a lot. So I'm just giving you an example of a function. There are multiple functions, more than 10, 15, 20 functions in GFDL itself, which we will be providing you completely as a sample code, and you can use it directly. So that's why the use of functions in Python is one of the major things which you can learn and make your algo trading journey very smooth, very easy, without writing the code again and again and again. Once you have developed the skeleton of the code using the functions, you just have to now move on and create new logics in that function. You don't have to worry about the same basic things of placing the order, getting the data, analyzing the data, or connecting the data to the Excel. You just have to write logics now. Interesting? If you have any doubts, please write it in the comment section, and let's meet in the next class with an amazing topic of libraries and how you can actually get GFDL data and basically convert it into a usable data for your use cases. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next class.